So why does Jesus call Herod that fox? We're talking about Luke chapter 13, beginning in verses 31 through 33. And some Pharisees come to Jesus and they tell him to get away from Galilee because Herod wants to kill him. And Jesus says, go tell that fox that I cast out demons and perform healings, and the third day reach my goal. And then he goes on to say, a prophet will not perish but outside Jerusalem. He's saying God's plan matters more than the politics, and that he's going to Jerusalem to die. He's not going to be killed in Galilee by Herod. And I mentioned yesterday that Jesus doesn't go into a rant about Herod. But who was Herod, and why does Jesus call him that fox? Well, Herod was the son of Herod the Great, who in 4 BC took over, ruled to about 39 AD in Galilee. Herod Antipas is the one we're talking about. But how would you find out about Herod? Well, this is a good lesson in how to study the Bible. I always say there's 4 steps in studying the Bible. The first is reading, knowing what's there. Second is meditating, pondering the words. I was pondering yesterday from the book of Psalms, with a long life I will satisfy him, Psalm 91. Reading, meditating. The third part to it is studying, figuring out who Herod is. And the fourth part is applying. How would you figure out who Herod was? A couple things. One is you can look in an encyclopedia like online, Britannica. Just look up Herod. You'll find a good article about him there. Second thing is you can find a Bible dictionary, such as a New Bible Dictionary, and buy one as a resource where you can look up Herod. Or Craig Keener has 2-volume Bible background commentary, one for the Old Testament, one for the New. It helps us understand who Herod was. So why is Jesus calling that fox? Maybe 3 possible reasons. One is he had divorced his wife and taken up with the wife of his brother. How about that? Here's the second one. He had had John the Baptist killed. How about that? Here's a third one. His economic policies, enriching places like Sepphoris and impoverishing places like Nazareth. What's Jesus referring to when he calls Herod that fox? All of those 3? One of those 3? 2 of those 3? But what we know is something else. In the Old Testament, the book of Song of Songs or Song of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 15, it says to watch out for the little foxes that ruin the vineyards. Fox can be a symbol of, when I was a teenager, someone attractive, or someone sneaky, or a feral beast. But in the Old Testament, it's a creature that ruins a vineyard. Maybe Jesus is saying Herod was ruining God's vineyard. So he calls him a fox. And by the way, there's something Herod should know since he's Jewish, that in Daniel chapter 2, for example, God removes kings and establishes kings. And in Daniel chapter 5, God holds kings accountable. Herod will have his day, but Jesus is not going to let that distract him from his day and his goal. So, not so much a spiritual buzz today, but a lesson in Bible study. You read, you meditate, you study, and you apply. This is your daily devotional for Thursday. I hope you're doing well. Pray for the church and pray for me, and blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it. God bless you as you serve him today.